Hello, my name is Heather Uzuwulu, Development Director at ERA's Senior Network, and thank you for joining us today for our Stop Senior Frauds and Scams presentation. I am joined by Iris Ziolkowski, retired lieutenant of the Milwaukee Police Department. Iris has a bachelor's and master's degree in criminal justice administration. She is a graduate of the School of Police Staff and Command and has over 3,500 hours of specialized law enforcement training on various topics. Iris worked at various districts within the Milwaukee Police Department, spending a significant amount of her career in District 3 on 49th and North, spending 30 years with the Milwaukee Police Department. Starting as a police officer and working her way up to lieutenant, where she supervised 149 officers, 8 detectives, 8 sergeants, and 2 police aides and 3 clerks. ERA Senior Network is a nonprofit organization serving over 2,600 seniors and adults with disabilities throughout Waukesha County and Milwaukee County each year. Services are provided by screened and trained volunteers to help our clients lead meaningful lives in their home of choice. All right, well, let's get started with our Stop Senior Frauds and Scams presentation. ERA's Stop Senior Frauds and Scams began in 2016, and we have given over 65 presentations to 2,000 attendees, mostly seniors and their caregivers. During our presentation, we will define various scams targeting the senior population. We'll share examples that you might be approached by this scam, examples that a senior in your life may be a victim of a scam, action to take to prevent a scam, action to take if you've been a victim, and we will also share tips from local law enforcement. For seniors, scams can create a lot of problems, including depression and anxiety, skipped medical care, reduced nutritional intake, loss of property or assets. For caregivers, they can also experience depression and anxiety, damaged marriages, increased conflict with family and friends, and career setbacks. 1 million seniors skip a meal as a result of financial fraud, and 1.4 million marriages are damaged by the effects of dealing with fraud. And scams affect so many people. The FBI estimates that seniors lose more than $3 billion each year due to scams. Over 90% of reported elder abuse is committed by an older adult's own family members. And financial scams often go unreported or can be difficult to prosecute, so they're considered a low-risk crime.
Impersonation is the #1 way to scam people in Wisconsin. This includes people coming to your door claiming that they're with the waterworks department, the electrical company, the gas company, or a construction site, whether it be somebody who's coming to look at your roof, noticing it after driving by, or who claims that they're working on a neighbor's property and needs you to come out. Always be leery of anyone who wants you to come outside. Lock your doors before you exit. According to the 2019 stats, Wisconsin people lose $15.1 million a year on scams. In 2019, there were 31,610 reported fraud cases. Notice it said reported because many people do not report these crimes.
One thing that we stress during our presentations is the importance of having conversations with people you trust. Scams can happen to anyone. So it's good to think about now, who in your life can you trust to have important conversations about scams with? Identify those people now so you know who you can reach out to when presented with a possible fraud or scam. All right, and now we're going to teach a new acronym to help you remember what to do if you're faced with a potential fraud or scam. And that is S.T.O.P, STOP. The S stands for, sounds too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true, it likely is too good to be true. T is time pressure. No one should force you to make snap decisions. O, organize your thoughts and trust your gut. Ask yourself or someone you trust, is this a fraud or a scam? And my favorite, P, don't be polite. It is okay to say no, hang up the phone, delete the email, or close the door. So why are seniors targeted for fraud and scams? Well, many seniors are available, many are retired and are able to answer that phone call or knock on the door. Many are in a generation that were taught to be polite and trusting of their neighbors, which unfortunately can sometimes make people vulnerable. Isolation and loneliness can also make someone more inclined to open the door or pick up the phone. Chronic health issues can make someone want to try anything to feel better, even if it ends up being fraudulent medicine. And this is not just true for seniors, but technology can be very confusing. And scam artists are great at making websites look very legitimate. And so it's not just confusing for seniors. Prosperity. Many seniors have been saving all of their lives, and scam artists know that, and they want to get their hands on it. And there could be some possible cognitive impairments that can make it harder for someone to know if they are a victim of a scam.
Important to remember, never ever give your credit card number, a social security number, Medicare information, or other personal information over the phone or computer unless you initiated the communication. This includes if the phone message coming in says it's from someone that you might know, like a police department or the IRS. Realize that people can VoIP these numbers in and have it say anything they want. So unless you initiate the call, never give out personal information. Next, we're going to talk about stop senior fraud and scams. It's okay to hang up on individuals. Telemarketing calls target older adults because you're home to answer the phone. Technology makes robocalling cheap and easy. Telephone numbers can be bought, pulled from public records, or just guessed. Calls can originate from anywhere in the world. Spoofing technology fools callers' ID by faking a known phone number, even your own. If you respond to the call, press 1 to talk or 2 to be removed from the list. Your number is added to a hot list that is transferred to a telemarketer. Expect more phone calls in the future. Examples of telemarketing scams include calls from the IRS, Sweepstakes, a request to wire money, or from charities. If the IRS is trying to contact you, they will never call you. They will only correspond by US mail. If you truly want a sweepstakes, just like the IRS, you will receive something official in the mail. In general, we don't recommend you ever wire money since it's hard to track and hard to reverse. If a charity calls you and asks for money over the phone, we advise that you request more information through the mail before making that decision. You might be at risk. Many times the call is silent unless you talk. Automated messages are triggered by your voice. Tip: if it is someone you know, they will say hello. If you don't, it's okay to be silent. Although not all telemarketers are scam artists, here are some warning signs to be aware of. A senior you might know might be at risk at major credit card purchases, on the phone often with people they don't know. Tip: have them ask the caller for a name and number. Have conversations. A good way to avoid being scammed by telemarketers is to have a conversation about it. Many times you are not alone. Others have been scammed the same way, and knowing others are hanging up will make it easier for you too. It is especially important to talk to trusted family members or friends. If you think you've been scammed, call your local non-emergency police department number. Add your number to the do not call list. Look into call blocking apps for cell phones. Call phone providers to ask about call blocking tools, or just hang up.
The next scam we're going to talk about is sweepstakes scam, how sweepstakes can lead to scams. Everyone's a winner. Sweepstakes are a promotional scheme in which prizes are given to winners selected only by chance from the entries received. Sweepstakes do not require a purchase, otherwise they would become a lottery, which requires a license to operate. Examples of common sweepstakes include offering a fancy car, an exotic getaway, a shopping spree, or large sums of money. You might be at risk if you are asked to pay to claim your prize. You get a notice saying you've won a sweepstakes, but don't remember entering the contest. Or the notice that you've won wants you to act quickly to claim your prize. Remember, that's that T, time pressure. No one should force you to make snap decisions. A senior you know might be excited to have piles of giveaways from a lot of different companies. While it is exciting to get free things, many times it comes at a bigger cost. They will also get a lot of junk mail asking them to enter into additional sweepstakes. Or they might find themselves paying taxes for a prize they don't remember entering for. Other companies might contact a senior you know because their information has been given away, which would increase their amount of mail and phone calls. So steps to stay protected: never pay to enter, always know something about the company, and never give out personal information. If you've been scammed by a sweepstakes scam, it is important, even if you're embarrassed, to let someone know that you think you've been scammed. This way, you have someone else who can help you along the way, and you've educated someone about a scam they might not already know about.
Online and email phishing scams. Don't be the bait. Instead of using a phishing pole, scam artists use emails, text messages, and websites to reel in their victims. And unfortunately, scam artists can create websites to look like an actual website. So it's important to pay close attention to the website links you are clicking on or entering information on. What do scam artists do? They steal your information to open credit cards, make purchases, or con you into giving them money by pretending to be someone they aren't. Online romance scams. Scam artists can create a fake profile to engage in online relationships with seniors, oftentimes who are lonely and looking for companionship. Over time, the scam artist will gain the trust of the senior and ask for money. I have had several of these come to my attention in which the individual claims to be a military person who needs money in order to make it back to the United States to meet up with the victim. Be aware, if they are in the military, they will get their ride back to the US. You do not need to provide them money. How can I avoid being reeled in? Be an informed consumer and thwart the scam artist. The do's and don'ts. Do delete any email or text message that comes from an unfamiliar source. Don't click on unfamiliar websites and don't open unfamiliar email attachments. Only click open from someone you know and trust. This is especially important if you are on Facebook. There are a lot of scam websites on there and a lot of scam individuals who are looking to gather your information. Do use your password that is hard for scammers artists to guess. A combination of numbers, letters, and symbols is best. Don't email financial information or account information. Email is not a secure way to transmit personal information. Also, do not keep your passwords on your phone or your computers. Keep them in a folder someplace safe in your home where you can get at them in case you forget your password, but where someone who gets into your system cannot steal them. If you have your own computer, do keep your computer's security and antivirus software up to date. Do make sure your Wi-Fi requires a password, and do shut down your computer when you are not using it. If you're using a shared computer, do log out of the program you're working on, like email or online banking. And do be sure to close your internet browser, Google, Firefox, Internet Explorer. If you're using a shared computer, don't save personal information on the computer. Save it on a flash drive. And don't allow websites to save your passwords. If you think you've been scammed, do not be embarrassed. This can happen to anyone. Even some of the most savvy consumers can be scammed. Gather your information, what happened and when. Stolen credit cards or bank info, call your bank or credit card company to cancel your account or card. Call your local non-emergency police number.
Our next module is on power of attorney. We will be talking about power of attorney for finances and power of attorney for healthcare documents. These documents can be very important and valuable to planning for your future and making your wishes known. However, in the wrong hands, a power of attorney document can pose significant risk. It is important to be prudent in deciding whether this document is appropriate for you. Please know that this is a complicated topic, and this is only an overview. Power of attorney for healthcare. So definition, power of attorney for healthcare decisions. A document that you, the principal, will complete, naming another person, the agent, to make healthcare decisions on your behalf, if you ever become unable to make those decisions for yourself. So why have a power of attorney for healthcare? In Wisconsin, a family member is not automatically authorized to make healthcare decisions for you. Without a power of attorney for healthcare, there may need to be a guardian appointed by a court to make healthcare decisions, a costly, time-consuming, and cumbersome process. At what point does the agent make decisions for me? The agent's authority under the power of attorney is not effective until 2 physicians or 1 physician and 1 psychologist examine you, the principal, and find you are incapacitated and unable to make healthcare decisions. Also, it is possible that a person will be found incapacitated and then regain capacity at a later time. For instance, if a person has an accident and is sedated and on a ventilator, that person would likely be found incapacitated and not able to make healthcare decisions. But once they were doing better and able to understand and communicate, the agent's powers would be deactivated and the person would make his or her own healthcare decisions. On the other hand, for instance, if a person has significant dementia and was determined incapacitated by 2 physicians or a physician and a psychologist, the agent's powers might be in effect for the rest of the principal's life. So how does the agent make decisions? The agent must act in good faith consistent with your wishes. If your wishes are not known, the agent must act in your best interest. And the agent may make many kinds of healthcare decisions, not just end of life. It is very important to talk with your agent about your wishes. What kind of limitations are there on the decisions my agent can make? There are limits on certain kinds of decisions an agent can make under the healthcare power of attorney document. Also, an agent under a healthcare power of attorney may only make decisions about healthcare. He or she may not make decisions about finances unless the agent is also a power of attorney for finances. So who should be my agent? It can be family or friend. It cannot be a healthcare provider or employee of a facility where you reside, unless they're a relative. It should be a person who will follow your wishes about your healthcare decisions. Other things to consider would be geography. Are they assertive? Are they experienced? Next, we're going to talk about power of attorney for finances. But first, let's hear about a local scam from Iris.
Local POA scams, Heartland, Wisconsin. A neighbor convinced a senior to put them in charge of their finances since the senior's son lives out of state. The neighbor scammed her out of $300,000. Remember, for power of attorney, to make sure you trust the individual. It is usually best to use a family member if possible, even if out of state.
The definition for power of attorney for finances and property. It's a document that you, the principal, completes, naming another person, the agent, to manage your finances and property. You choose which powers you want your agent to have. So when does power of attorney for finances and property take effect? The agent's authority takes effect immediately after you execute the document, unless you expressly indicate otherwise. Both you and your agent have the right to handle your property and finances. Unlike the healthcare power of attorney, unless you specify otherwise in the document, the agent's power under a power of attorney for finances takes effect immediately. This does not mean that you lose your right to manage your finances. It simply means another person has the right to take care of it for you, so that if you are not feeling well or in the hospital or out of town, the agent you choose can be paying your bills or talking to the utility company or bank. So why not have a power of attorney for finances? If you do not have someone trustworthy to select as an agent, Do not complete a power of attorney for finances. We cannot emphasize this enough. In the wrong hands, a power of attorney document can be used for financial abuse and exploitation. If you have a person in your life who is truly trustworthy and is willing to be your agent under a power of attorney for finances, you should strongly consider creating a power of attorney for finances. On the other hand, if you do not have anyone or are not sure whether the person you are considering would be trustworthy, don't do it. If in doubt, do not create a power of attorney for finances. In the wrong hands, a power of attorney for finances document can allow the agent to steal money, sell property and other assets, open credit cards, and engage in other illegal behavior. By the time the crime is realized, it can be difficult to get the money back because the agent may have spent it all. So, warning signs that someone you know may be a victim of financial abuse. If they're isolating from friends and family members, if they're being secretive or confused about finances, maybe a new friendship or relationship has begun and that person becomes the agent under a power of attorney for finances, or you're seeing more frequent trips to attorneys and banks with a new friend. How to avoid financial exploitation through power of attorney for finances. Only create a power of attorney for finances if you have someone trustworthy to select as an agent. If possible, use an attorney to create power of attorney for finances. While it might be inconvenient not to have a power of attorney for finances, it is far worse to have one with an untrustworthy agent. And if needed, a court can appoint a guardian or conservator in the future for you. What to do if there is financial abuse by an agent under a power of attorney for finances. You can call Adult Protective Services, APS, at 262-548-7848. Report it to the local police department by calling their non-emergency police line. And if you're in immediate danger, call 911.
Types of medical scams: Medicare and insurance fraud, anti-aging scams, and counterfeit medications. Medicare and insurance scams. Scam artists deceive people into sharing their medical information on their insurance card or their Medicare card and other personal information. The scary truth is that approximately 250,000 Medicare beneficiaries are listed as having had their medical identity compromised through stolen or misused Medicare numbers. Medicare fraud can result in high out-of-pocket costs for the beneficiaries or bills of service from providers who should have billed Medicare, but instead billed the beneficiary. Tips about Medicare cards: only give Medicare numbers to doctors, pharmacists, or other care providers, your insurers, etc. Anti-aging scams. Look for red flags in ads that promise or claim quick and painless cure, special, secret, or ancient formula, cure a wide range of ailments, cure an incurable disease, no risk, money back guarantee, free gift or upgrade, require advance payment or limited supply. Counterfeit medicine is fake medicine. It may be contaminated or contain the wrong ingredients or no active ingredients at all. How to avoid counterfeit medicine: only purchase from state licensed pharmacies that are located in the United States. If you buy on the internet, check to see that the pharmacy is licensed and in good standing. Warning signs of medical scams: unusual charges on financial statements and Medicare statements, unnecessary medical equipment, supplements, vitamins, etc. How to avoid: know who you're dealing with, talk to the doctor before you buy health products or treatments, keep your Medicare card safe, review your Medicare statements and other insurance statements you receive through the mail. If it happens to you, call 1-800-MEDICARE and call your non-emergency police department.
Next, we're talking about COVID scams. This first one is the stimulus check scam. It will likely come as no surprise that once the economic stimulus packages were announced, scam artists began finding ways to try to scam consumers. So COVID-19 scam artists may send fake checks to consumers asking them to pay a fee to get their money sooner. They might call you asking for personal information in order to issue your stimulus check. They might email you a link to verify your identity in order to claim your stimulus check. And what to know to avoid stimulus check scams. Government agencies do not communicate through social media, and you do not need to pay for your stimulus check, not even a processing fee. All right, fake testing sites. While COVID testing sites are more available these days, it is still important to be aware of fake testing sites. So there's a story about a self-proclaimed medical marketing company set up a makeshift testing site in Kentucky. They dressed in hazmat gear and they were charging $240 per fake COVID-19 test. In the example that I just shared, scam artists were not actually providing you with accurate COVID-19 test results. Additionally, they were not practicing proper hygiene and were using the same gloves between several people, creating cross-contamination. So now you've paid them $240 and they have your DNA and personal information. So how to avoid fake testing sites? Discuss a reputable testing site with your doctor and ask for a referral, and research local testing sites through your state's Department of Health Services. And then these are some additional COVID-19 scams to watch out for. At-home test kits. These have not been approved by the FDA. Emails claiming to be the CDC or World Health Organization, or fraudulent charities raising money to support COVID relief. Do your homework and never wire money. This is a very new scam, but government imposters are targeting grieving survivors of people who died of COVID-19, offering to pay for funeral expenses. And a very new program just started, and it's a real government relief program, which will pay up to $9,000 for funeral expenses that people have paid since January 20th of 2020 for a loved one who died of COVID-19. But be wary of people contacting you pretending to be a representative of FEMA. And if you are interested in this program, call FEMA yourself. The Federal Trade Commission has a great deal of information about COVID-19 scams on their website. Here's the link that you can check out for more details. How to report COVID-19 scams. Definitely call your local non-emergency police number. File a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. If you have a text message, copy the message and forward it to 7726, which spells out spam, or report it to the Wisconsin Elder Abuse Hotline at 1-833-586-0107.
Okay, other popular scams. Outdoor chore service. Scam artists come to your door to discuss an outdoor project. Brings you outside to a distraction while the accomplice enters the home. Be advised, usually in the spring, there are travelers that enter our area from out of state. They try to get you to subscribe to either having your driveway done, your roof done, or they claim they're working on your neighbor's house and they want you to come outside. Remember, if you ever decide you're going to go outside, lock all the doors to your house, make sure your windows are closed, and take your key. Then first exit the door. Computer virus scams. Call from your computer company alerting you of a virus on your computer. They say they can fix it, but need payment or remote access to your computer. Victim has now paid the scammers to steal their information. This is a good reason why you keep your antivirus software up to date. It will handle everything. And if you ever get a message like this, you could just delete it.
A scam that was popular a few years ago is the We Energies scam. You would receive a call, and on your caller ID, it would say We Energies, but it wasn't actually We Energies. It was just spoofing, pretending to be We Energies. When you picked up, you would hear an automated message that was an actual message from We Energies. And when you spoke to someone, they would say that you are past due on a bill and you must pay with a gift card. No company is going to be asking you to pay a bill with a gift card. So while this was popular several years ago, I think it's really important to still be on the lookout for this scam if it starts to resurface. And then a local scam alert. Scam artists are impersonating the ADRC, which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center. They're telling consumers that they would get a free gift if they provided their name and Medicare number. So this is definitely a scam. If this happens to you, just hang up. Don't give out your personal information. And remember, this is a scam. You will not be getting a free gift.
Scam prevention in Wisconsin. Former Attorney General Brad Schimmel formed the Attorney General's Task Force on Elder Abuse in August of 2017. On August 14, 2018, former AG Brad Schimmel released a training video to educate tellers and other banking professionals on how to spot scams. Important to remember, never, ever give your credit card, social security number, Medicare information, or other personal information over the phone or computer unless you initiated the communication.
All right, well, to review our presentation, let's review our acronym STOP. The S in STOP stands for sounds too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true, it likely is too good to be true. The T is time pressure. No one should force you to make snap decisions. O, organize your thoughts and trust your gut. Ask yourself or someone that you trust, is this a fraud or a scam? And then my favorite, P, don't be polite. It is okay to say no, hang up the phone, delete the email, or close the door. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our presentation on Stop Senior Frauds and Scams for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. If you are interested in learning more about ERA Senior Network, please visit our website at www.eras.org or call our main lines, which is 414-488-6500 for Milwaukee County and 262-549-3348 for Waukesha County. Well, thank you so much, Retired Lieutenant Iris Ziolkowski, for coming and sharing your expertise on scams targeting the senior population. We appreciate you all tuning in today and hope that you learned more to stay protected.